My name is Doogan, and today I'll be presenting on The Goblin and the Mosquito by Florence Price. Florence Price was an African-American composer who was born in 1887 and who died in 1953. In addition to being a composer, she was also a pianist, an organist, and a music teacher. She was born in Little Rock, Arkansas, and received her musical training at the New England Conservatory. She composed for a variety of classical genres, including orchestra, choir, voice, chamber, and solo instruments. She followed in European classical traditions with influence from American genres. She was particularly inspired by the Czech composer Dvorak, as well as African American spirituals in the United States. Her piece, The Goblin and the Mosquito, is an RCM level 6 piece. The piece is effective for storytelling and humor. There's a variety of textures and articulations throughout, quick dynamic contrasts, fast finger activity, and quick navigation around the keyboard. In the beginning of the piece, there's many contrasting articulations, with legatos in the left hand and staccatos in the right hand. There's many quick dynamic changes, growing from mezzo forte to a sforzando in the second measure. Pedaling will be needed throughout, however, it's not marked in the score, so the teacher may aid in helping the student pedal. For passages where there's fast grace notes, it's important that the student learns how to flick their wrist properly and have all the notes speak clearly. Later in the piece, we see more of these grace notes. Again, the teacher would have to help with these fast finger motions and using the wrist, not just the fingers for these motions. There's many contrasting articulations. For example, in this measure 7 there, you can see staccatos in the left hand on top of tenutos and slurred notes in the right hand. There's a chromatic scale in this piece, and it occurs another time too. So it's good for the student to be familiar with their chromatic scale. There's many dynamic contrasts throughout the piece. Here, there's a fortissimo chord in the first beat, and on the second beat, it moves to piano. There's also a quick shift in register when the student has to move both their hands up to the higher part of the treble clef. It's important that the student lifts with this fortissimo chord as to not get a harsh sound and quickly moves up to the higher register. There's lots of staccato articulations too in the higher register, in a very playful way. In this passage, it requires fast and agile fingers as you flick the notes from C to the C above that. Some performers will play this with their back of their fingernails like a glissando. I chose to finger them all though. This requires a good rotation of the wrist. And of course, after this, there's some light and bouncy articulations. In this passage, we have more high register parts, as well as another contrast in articulations, with the right hand having a short staccato and the left hand having a connected two-note slur. Overall, this piece is very good for a fun and humorous story and can be very engaging for students. There's various different characters and styles throughout the piece with many different articulations and textures. The piece also has a DC al coda, which is good for the student to learn to go back to the beginning. When you see two coda, go to the coda at the end. I will now perform The Goblin and the Mosquito by Florence Price. Thank you.